What if war wasn't about tanks and guns? What if it was about real dinosaurs? Imagine a world where countries didn't build weapons, they raised them. Tyrannosaurs leading the charge, raptors sneaking in like shadows, giant plant eaters smashing everything in their way. It sounds like a wild movie, but it's based on real fossil facts. Hi friend, welcome back. Today we're going to imagine something wild. What if wars were not fought with machines, but with dinosaurs? Real, living dinosaurs. Not robots. Not clones from movies. But the actual giants that once ruled Earth. Every country has its own fossil history. Some had strong meat eaters. Some had fast runners. Some had giants that shook the ground. In this story, we'll look at real dinosaurs found in different countries. We'll ask one big question. If these dinosaurs were alive today and used in battle, who would win? Let's travel back in time and forward in imagination. Let's start with the United States. This land was once home to one of the most famous dinosaurs ever, Tyrannosaurus rex. T-Rex was huge, almost 40 feet long. Its bite could crush bones. In war, it would be the one charging first. Loud, fearless, strong. You don't send T-Rex to sneak around. You send it to break walls and scare everyone in sight. But the US wouldn't stop there. It also had Triceratops. This dinosaur looked peaceful, but it had 3 sharp horns and a giant shield on its head. In battle, Triceratops would protect the team, like a living wall. Then there's Ankylosaurus, low to the ground, covered in armor, and it had a heavy tail, like a hammer. It didn't move fast, but it was almost impossible to hurt. Together, these dinosaurs would be slow but powerful. They would crush anything in their way. America's dino army would win with strength, with force, but not with speed or surprise. So here's the big question. Could raw power alone win the war? Now let's move to China and Mongolia. This part of the world had smaller dinosaurs, but don't let size fool you. These dinos were smart and very fast. Take Velociraptor, for example. It was only as big as a turkey, but it hunted in packs. It had sharp claws and a sharp mind. In a fight, raptors wouldn't charge head-on. They'd sneak in, hit fast, and disappear, like special forces. Then there's Microraptor. This little dinosaur had wings on both its arms and legs. It couldn't fly like a bird, but it could glide through trees. Imagine an enemy hiding above you, ready to drop without warning. Microraptors would be perfect for surprise attacks from the sky. Even Psittacosaurus, a plant eater, had a role. It wasn't strong, but it moved fast. It worked well in groups. It could help with scouting or guarding paths. China and Mongolia's dino army would fight with teamwork. Quick moves, smart plans, and fast escapes. So here's a question. Can clever tactics and speed beat strength and size? Now we go to South America, especially Argentina and Brazil. These places had some of the biggest dinosaurs ever found. First, meet Argentinosaurus. It was longer than 2 buses. It could weigh over 100 tons. It didn't bite or claw, but it didn't need to. One step could crush a truck. In war, this giant would move slowly, but everything in its path would fall. Then there's Giganotosaurus. This predator may have been even longer than T-Rex. It had sharp teeth and strong legs. It wasn't just big, it could run. It would lead the attack, biting through defenses like paper. And don't forget Carnotaurus, smaller but fast, with 2 strange horns above its eyes. This one would strike quickly, then run, a perfect side attacker. Argentina's army would shake the ground. Big bodies, big bites, big fear. If they fought, other dinosaurs might freeze just from the sound of footsteps. But here's something to think about. Is being the biggest always enough to win? Africa might be the most dangerous of all. Why? Because it had dinosaurs that ruled both land and water. Let's start with Spinosaurus. It was longer than T-Rex. But it didn't just walk, it swam. It had a long crocodile-like snout and a sail on its back. It hunted in rivers and lakes. In war, Spinosaurus would control the water. No one could cross a river without facing it. On land, Africa had Carcharodontosaurus, a name that means shark-toothed lizard. It was big, almost as big as Giganotosaurus. Its teeth were sharp and long. This dinosaur would meet enemy leaders face to face. Africa also had Tyrannosaurus. It wasn't a killer, but it could move fast. It had a sail on its back and long legs, perfect for desert battles. Together, these dinosaurs could attack from two sides, land and water. While others guarded one front, Africa could strike from both. No other continent had that kind of balance. So the big question is, if you had to fight on land and water, could you stop Africa's army? Europe didn't have the biggest or fastest dinosaurs, but what it had was surprise. Start with Beronyx. It had a long snout like a fish eater, and a giant claw on each hand. It liked water, rivers, lakes, swamps. In war, it would be the ambush expert, waiting in shallow water then striking when no one expected. Then there's Iguanodon, a strong plant eater with a secret weapon, a sharp thumb spike. It could stand on two legs and fight back. Put a group of iguanodons together and you've got a living shield wall. And don't forget Megalosaurus. It wasn't the biggest or the fastest, but it was well-rounded. A smart hunter with good balance. Like a soldier who can do a bit of everything. Europe's strength would be its weird mix. Not a lot of power, not a lot of speed, but full of tricks. One moment, you're crossing a river. The next, a claw grabs you from below. So here's a final thought. In a world full of giants and killers, could strange tactics and surprise win the fight? So we've seen the ancient armies of the world. America had strength, China had speed, Argentina had giants, Africa ruled land and water. Europe brought tricks, and Australia? Quiet, but deadly. Each country had dinosaurs with different skills. Some crushed, some chased, some planned. If these creatures were still alive and used in battle, the world would be a very different place. But here's what matters most. In a war of dinosaurs, would power win? Or would clever thinking change everything? Let us know what you think. Who would win the dinosaur war? And if you enjoyed this, like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and watch our next one. Because the past still has stories to tell.